How's it going everyone, my name is fordevo and welcome to Outbreak. Outbreak is the newest mode available for Cold War zombies and is an absolute blast. It's the right mix of fun and challenging, something that admittedly Cold War has been lacking. The maps we've gotten so far, D Machine and Firebase C, have been very easy and fun to play on up to a point. They eventually get boring, but Outbreak provides you a continuous challenge as you progress through each world. The game mode comes with a host of new objectives and storyline content, but this video is a beginner's guide to what Outbreak is and how to play it. In this video, I'm going to explain each of the 5 objectives currently available within the game, explain what markers on the maps mean, the rewards you earn in game while playing, and the best course of action you can take while playing as the difficulty spike becomes very severe as you progress. Before we even load in, we want to look at our loadouts and decide which weapons we want to take in with us. This is important not only for surviving, but also making sure that you can earn points efficiently, as you earn a lot less points as you play, but I'll explain that later. Currently, the loadout I like to rock during my time in Outbreak is a fully tricked out MP5. I bumped this class off Adam, so all credit to him. I only tweaked the silencer he had on it as I didn't want the damage to suffer. My MP5 is set up like this: Diamondback Reflex, Infantry Compensator, 9.5 Task Force Barrel, Ember Sighting Point, Bruiser Grip, Stanag 50 round drum, Airborne Elastic Tape, and the Raider stock. This build is designed to have the highest accuracy, damage, and salvage drop rate in order to get the weapon from common to legendary as fast as possible. Last but not least, I would highly recommend running the Ether Shroud field upgrade, as it can offer you a momentary reprieve when the horde gets a bit overwhelming. Energy Mine is also a very good shout for this, as it can blast the zombies away from around you to give you breathing room, and with 2 charges, it's a very good choice. Adam runs this as a main, and he saved my ass plenty of times when I've been downed, so it's definitely worth a shot. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into a game of Outbreak. When the game loads up, you're going to spawn into one of 3 maps, each with varying sizes. Alpine, which is a snowy setting in the Ural Mountains, which was teased at the end of the Firebase Z Easter egg by Ravenov. This map will be familiar to those who play Fireteam, as this is the Dirty Bomb map the game launched with. Golova, a small mountainside town with a granary to the north, and finally, Ruka, which is fairly devoid of human occupation except for some industrial and research areas. When you spawn in with your loadout, you'll be in a safe area where you can stand for a while and have a look at your map. This is important as it's going to show you where you need to go in order to do certain things. Outbreak brings all the enemy types we have previously encountered in Cold War together, including the Manglers, Mimics, Hell and Plaguehounds, and the Megaton Chungus from D Machina. We are also introduced to 2 new enemy types, both of which we are very familiar with. The first is the much hated but also much loved Panzer Soldat. He's back in all his armoured glory, and he's just as tanky as ever. He can take a serious amount of firepower to deal with, especially as the worlds progress. The second enemy is also a returning one, and it is the Avogadro from Black Ops 2 and 4, going by the new name of Tempest. It is a Dark Ether version of the Avogadro, and it's just as annoying as his old counterpart. Each map can contain up to 3 special objectives alongside the main objective, and these can help you get salvage, points, perks, and weapons for free. The 3 side quests are Revenge, which is shown on the map by a group of 3 skulls together, Feed the Dragon, which is symbolized by a dragon head inside a circle, and finally, Withstand, which is marked by a cloud with a lightning bolt, and I'll explain what each one is and what the rewards can be for each one. Revenge is as it sounds. You're getting revenge for the teammates who went before you and who died to the horde of the undead. Head to the 3 skull symbol on the map and look for a dead body with a radio. Interact with the radio and a message will play from the team who died previously, demanding that you avenge their deaths. Weevil will then come on your radio and tell you to avenge their deaths. Look at your map again for the skulls, which will now have moved and will be a small distance away. Head to it and prepare for a fight. Zombies will spawn in en masse alongside up to 4 elites and specials, and these can be a combination of any of the group we currently have, including Manglers, Tempests, Chungus and Panzers. I have yet to see one where one of each enemy spawns in, but that's not to say it won't happen, but the enemies tend to spawn in pairs. Just lay down as much fire as you can on these enemies and eventually you'll kill them all. The rewards for completing this is a random free perk plus whatever extra they drop, including salvage and maybe the essence canisters that you can pick up worth 100 points. Feed the Dragon is fairly straightforward. You find the big steel containers and look for the screen at the front. Interact with this screen, it'll cost 500 points, and a ring of fire effect will spawn on the ground, and the dragon from Der Eisendrache will poke his head out of the top of the machine. Your objective now is to kill enemies within the ring of fire. They'll have a purple glow on their chest when they're inside the ring, meaning they're ready to be killed. This is a timed challenge, and the more enemies you can give the dragon, the better rewards you can earn, from a small chest all the way up to a gold chest. There are 2 tanks facing you when you're in the circle. These will fill as you kill zombies. If they reach the top when the time expires, the dragon will blast off and leave behind a golden chest, which can potentially drop you a free perk, armor, weapons, salvage, and a full power drop, which fully recharges your field upgrade. Less kills means a smaller reward, so always go for the gold. Withstand is the only one of these challenges that guarantees a golden chest as a reward. The chest will spawn in and be shrouded in red mist. You have to cleanse this chest by killing all the enemies who spawn in, so interact with the chest and the glow will spread out and a load of enemy types will spawn in. You'll have dogs, zombies, manglers and mimics that all just appear at once. Move around as much as you can, as this crowd can very quickly overwhelm you. Sometimes panzers and chungus can spawn in, but just keep on the move and you'll be fine. Eventually, you'll deal with the horde and the chest will glow bright white and purge itself and allow you to open it. You can get the same rewards as the golden chest from the dragon, but nothing is guaranteed except maybe the full power up, which seems to come out all the time. Each of these challenges increases in difficulty as you move from world to world, so just take that into consideration before diving into them head first. Other symbols include Pack-a-Punch, the upgrade station, crafting bench, and the Wonder Fizz machine. Loot chests can be located around the map in random areas. They make a very distinct sound when you're near them, like a tracking sound followed by a child laughing. The louder this is, the closer you are. These chests drop everything from equipment to armor to salvage, and they're key to progressing as far as you can in this mode, so open every chest you find and claim those rewards. Be aware that sometimes a chest isn't a chest, but it's actually a mimic. You can actually check this by pinging the chest. If the chest comes up on screen as a chest, then it's real. If it only puts the ping marker, it's a mimic. They always appear around the place, so just be on your guard. As well as that, when you open some chests, you'll get a jump scare. If you can kill this jump scare fast enough, you can get some really good rewards, and it leads to a calling card if you kill enough of them. So always go for that as well. There are vehicles located on every map. These are easily found by their icons on the map, so just grab one and move around the map as rapid as you want. Tempests can disable and destroy your vehicles very fast, so be exceptionally careful when these floaty fuckers are around. If you see them ahead, try and go another way, or if you're close enough to where you want to be, just walk. Each map has different vehicles, and you can jazz them up with different styles and add your own music in the menu. Now for the main quests. There's 5 of these and they each have their own difficulty. I'll go through each individual one, and if there's any way to make them easier, I'll be sure to mention it. There's only one main challenge per world, and these increase in difficulty as you advance through the worlds. These are HVT, which is high value target, or as I like to say, kill the big bastard. Escort, where you escort a rover looking for dark ether hotspots. Holdout, in which you are locked into a small area and must survive for 4 minutes. Retrieval, where you must retrieve 2 ether crystals and bring them back to an extraction rocket. And Protect, in which you must protect a data transmitter while it extracts information from a zombie head. I'll explain each one in detail and tell you ways to make them easier. HVT, or high value target, is the simplest one of the 5. A buffed up armored enemy will spawn in either a megaton, panzer, or a mangler, and will bring with it a bunch of enemies. These enemies take quite a lot of ammo to damage them, so just keep firing on them as much as possible. After you drain a third of their health bar, they will turn into an ether ball and travel away. You must pursue this and keep damaging them once they spawn in again. After you drain their health bar by another third, it will travel away again. Once more, follow it, wait for it to spawn back in, and then attack and finally kill the high value target. Manglers seem to be the most common enemy type to get on this, but for each one, aim for the head. Manglers are normally weaker in the robotic arms, but in this instance, the head does more damage. Escort is fairly straightforward. You have to stay close to a reconnaissance drone that is looking for dark ether hotspots. Straying too far will cause the vehicle to stop moving until you get close enough. When it finds an ether hotspot, it will head for the breach that becomes visible. Depending on the shape of the breach, the vehicle will do one of 2 things. If the breach is large and spherical, it'll enter it, be jettisoned out of it further ahead. You must chase it and get close for it to start moving again and to find the next breach. The same thing will happen and it will be launched again. Third breach will be the correct one, and when the rover nears it, a group of enemies will spawn in, including 1 or possibly 2 elite enemies. Also, Tempests can disable the rover, so kill them immediately. Defend the rover from any enemies that spawn in and it will enter the portal and you are done. However, if the portal looks like a narrower slit, kinda like the void bow portals from Horizon Draka, then the rover will simply drive up, probe them, and move on. When it arrives at the third one, it will disappear and the challenge is complete. Holdout is pretty straightforward and is the next one. You are forced into a small building and made to endure a lockdown of 4 minutes. This can be challenging as some buildings are smaller than others. One has an upstairs area that you can camp in with only 2 entries, the stairs and the room on the left. The others are on one level, so they're exposed on all sides. You basically survive about 3 waves of enemies. The first wave is mostly zombies with maybe a couple of hell and plague hounds. The second wave is mostly comprised of zombies, dogs, and either manglers or mimics. The third wave, everything is thrown at you. You have to be on your toes at all times as you can be cornered very quickly. Just survive until the timer reaches 0 and you'll be teleported back to the site where you started the challenge. Defense is a little trickier. You have to collect a zombie head that is marked on the map, deposit it into a big machine nearby, then sit defending it for 3 minutes from a continuous onslaught of zombies, dogs, manglers, and mimics. Panzers and megatons can also spawn in, but they normally appear at the higher tiers. The machine will have a health bar and you must stop the zombies from destroying it. When the challenge begins, the zombies are fairly slow to come in, but within about 30 seconds, they come thick and fast and you need to be mobile while also staying close to the analyzer so that you can defend it. Hold out as best you can for the 3 minutes and eventually the machine will finish and you'll be given an audio cue to tell you that you're done. Collect is by far the most annoying one. You have 4 minutes to retrieve 2 ether samples marked on your map and bring them back to an extraction rocket. When you approach the ether samples, you must interact with the small machine to make it spit out the sample, and when it does, you can now pick it up. But once you've picked it up, your movement will now be restricted. You can no longer sprint, slide, or jump. You can still vault over small walls, but you're going to try and avoid that. You must walk while everything else moves at full speed around you. While carrying the sample, your field upgrade is replaced by it. Activating your upgrade will instead cause a large blast from the crystal, blasting away any enemies that are too close for comfort. This recharges with kills, so it can be used a few times. This must be repeated after your first crystal, however this step can be turned into a breeze. 3 words: find a vehicle. If you have any vehicle, this step becomes 100 times easier, as your vehicle of choice can still move at full speed while taking small amounts of tick damage while in possession of the sample. The damage is negligible in a full health vehicle, but becomes an issue about half health. Be wary of tempests, as they can blow your vehicle to shit in 2 hits, so if you see one, drive like hell away but still head in the direction of the rocket. When you've brought back both samples and interacted each time with the rocket, it'll take off and you'll have passed the challenge. After completing each main quest on each world, you'll be given a reward of a generous amount of salvage, and a new beacon will spawn in. This beacon is your ticket to either the next world or to an exfil. Exfil in this mode is a bit of a mess, as sometimes the zombies required for the exfil kills may not necessarily spawn in a consistent manner near the site, so you just need to start killing everything you see, especially in the later tiers. When you activate the beacon, it will spawn in a pack-a-punch machine, a wonder fizz, an upgrade station, and an equipment crafting table. And that's it. That's my ultimate guide to playing Outbreak. I hope you find the mode as fun as I do and go as far into the worlds as you can to test yourself against the endless hordes. If this video helped you, be sure to drop a like on it and maybe consider subscribing for more zombies videos in the future. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.